Welcome to the Solo Grind, where we shine a light on the raw and real journey of being a solo entrepreneur. I am Teresa, your guide on this adventure of going it alone without a safety net and without the rule book. The grind is real, my friend, and so are the wins, the freedom, and the joy of building success on your own terms. I'm here to debunk the myths, share some laughs, and share what it takes to thrive as a go getter, busy, doing it all entrepreneur. Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Solo Grind. I am super excited for my first full official episode and to be sharing that with you. So, thank you so much. I am so glad you are here. Before we jump into today's episode, I thought I would take a moment to share a little bit more about myself. If there's one thing that you should know about me, it's that I love to create life on my own terms. I cannot count the number of times that I have been told, you can't do that. And just about as many times as that, I have proven that yes, I can. I am all about challenging the status quo and seeing how the world works around me from a fresh new perspective. I am also the founder and owner of The Caffeine Creative, a branding web design agency that helps confident female service based entrepreneurs stand out in their industry. And we offer brand strategy, website design, and digital marketing services after the website is launched to help really hone into your target market and connect with your dream audience. All right. So now that you know a little bit about me, let's go ahead and dive into today's topic. And it really kind of stems from what I do in my work in the caffeine creative, and that is helping people stand out. For me, one of the best ways to stand out is to first define what success looks like to you. When you define what your success is and you're living that success, your confidence grows and people take notice, and you're immediately going to stand out. The trouble is that there's a lot of mixed messages about what success actually is, and we get caught up trying to achieve this level of success that really isn't genuine and authentic to ourselves. And so that's what I want to talk about today is how we can define success and how that definition evolves over time. And the first step in defining that success is breaking up with this entrepreneurial grind that we believe we have to be on, that is painful and grueling and miserable. All right. So to start with that entrepreneurial grind, I want to share a little bit about my own personal journey. So this is something that I honestly would call confessions of a recovering workaholic. I have been a workaholic a good portion of my life. The last 5 years, definitely not the case. But up until that point, I was constantly working, hustling, hard, trying to do more, trying to grow big, trying to grow quickly, working nights, early mornings, weekends, holidays, you name it. I was always finding ways to squeeze work in. And a lot of times I was trying to hide this from my husband because he knew I worked too hard. And I was constantly focusing on work. No, what matter what it was, you name it, I was doing it and I was trying to squeeze it all in. I gave everything that I had to give, and then I would dig deep to try and find even more to give, all in the name of building my business. Now, at first, it seemed like it was working. People were connecting, people were following me, people were engaging with my content on social media, which was the biggest platform that I've always advertised on or put myself out on. But that really wasn't true, real growth. Despite the growth of my following, I wasn't attracting my dream clients. I wasn't growing my business and I wasn't making any money. Most importantly, I really had no idea what success actually meant to me. I just had a checklist of things that I thought I had to accomplish to maybe someday believe I was successful. So here's a look at that checklist. I believed that I had to have tens of thousands of followers. Like think of that influencer mindset. I thought that that was necessary to be successful in business. I thought that I had to be able to show up and show the world in clever, classy social media posts or whatever, or in my emails, that I was exploring the world and connecting with other entrepreneurs in exotic places, all in the name of business. Okay. That was a box that I honestly believed I had to check. I believed that I had to build a huge team and an agency because going it alone and being a solo entrepreneur wasn't successful. Side note on that one, that is so far from the truth. And we'll definitely talk a lot about that here in the coming episodes. I also believed that I had to reach some ridiculous, outrageous financial goal, and that in order to make money, I had to put every dollar I earned back into the business and not show any profit. It's crazy, I know, but I really do believe, and I know there's a lot of people who believe that. They believe that you're more successful if you're not showing a profit, if you're funneling all this back into investing in your business. And again, that is simply not true and definitely something we'll talk about in upcoming episodes. So here's the thing. Despite all of my hard work, as I said above, I wasn't growing my business. I wasn't profitable. And worse off, I did not have any boundaries in place to protect myself, my time. I was burnt out. I was sacrificing my health, my happiness, my fun, and I was definitely sacrificing time with my family. And let's be honest, when we start sacrificing the things that make life worth living, is that really success? Like, no, that's not success. That's an illusion. It's crazy. It's not real. And here's something else that we often don't see behind the scenes of businesses. When we look at these businesses that have a huge following and they're showing up all over social media, we have this belief that they really are killing it. But here's the reality, and I've seen this not just as my own reality, I've seen this in others too. I had built a huge following or a great following, maybe not as huge as some people would like, but I had built a really good following. Here was the thing that most people don't realize, and what we often try to hide from the world, is that while I had that great following, I did not have the energy or the clarity to convert those followers into paying clients. So yes, my social media was rocking it and things were going good, but I didn't have any paying clients. So what was the point? I honestly, I fell into the trap of believing that I had to be available everywhere all the time, focusing on what these ideas of obligations that did little to fill my pipeline of clients or boost my profits. And the kicker is, I didn't see a problem with that way of thinking. In fact, I truly believed that if I just did more, gave more, put out more, created more, I might someday in the far off future become successful. Okay. So here, let's go into the turning point. I want to share my journey just because I think that it will resonate with people. Way back in 2019, as it was coming to a close, I was focused on doing that more that I thought that I had to do, that I thought was necessary in order to try and achieve success. And I had created some really ambitious goals for myself. Okay, obviously the podcast is one of them. You already know that. I shared that in the trailer. But so the podcast was one. I was going to create a podcast. I was still focused on building a massive audience. I had a good audience, a good size audience, but I was focused on massive, tens of thousands was my goal. All right. I was building that audience on social media as well as building a huge email list. Like I thought I had to have these tens of thousands of people on my email list for my business. I was going to write a book. I was also in kind of outlining and what that was going to be, developing a course that I was going to put out there and sell for passive income, which we'll talk about that in another another episode for sure. Plus, I was creating my own line of productivity planners that I wanted to sell. All right, so here's all of these things that I was going to do while running my web design business. All right, and again, I am a solo entrepreneur, and at that point, while now I have a few people that help me do certain tasks within my business, I had no one helping me do anything at all. All right. So here's all the things that I wanted to accomplish, and I plan to have them all done, launched, and thriving by the end of the first quarter of the new year. It sounds kind of crazy when I think about it now, how I was going to write a book and launch a podcast and build a huge following and develop a course and all the things. Like, what was I thinking? The sad thing is that even with all of these ideas of success that are things that I was going to create, I still was full of doubts. Okay. And did you catch earlier where I said I hoped that these things might make me successful? I didn't believe that they actually would make me successful. I only hoped that they might. And that's the thing when we're chasing external measures of success. It's this never ending cycle. We're always having to go check off the next item on our list. What are we starting next? What are we going to do new? What new goal do we have to accomplish? And we never take the time to sit back and think, wow, I did that. Great job. Let me pat myself on the back, because we never believe that it's enough. If I had not had my reality check 5 years ago, I I don't know, I might still be here checking off boxes, setting new goals, and exhausting myself in the process, all while waiting for that one magical day when I would reach success, and then I would know then I could finally slow down and enjoy life. So, as I was digging deep and focusing on these big, lofty goals, life had other plans for me. On November 16th, 2019, everything changed in my life. That is when I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And this wasn't the, oh my goodness, thankfully we caught it early and treatment is going to be easy kind of diagnosis. No, it was aggressive, fast growing, rare form of breast cancer. And I had to take some really big steps right away to protect my health. And sadly, that wasn't the only giant curveball life threw at me during that time in my life. And it wasn't even the worst one. I might share more about that other story another time, but today I want to focus on how this diagnosis led me to redefine my success. So, with my world turned upside down, I realized I couldn't do everything I had planned. My energy had to go towards healing and taking care of my paying clients. That was about all I knew I was could for sure focus on in the future. So I set aside all of my lofty goals, the book, the course, the planners, the podcast, and I focused my attention on my health and my clients. I am going to be honest, starting off 2020, I felt like a failure. While so many others around me in the online world and in my entrepreneurial space were creating new things in their business and launching new courses and sharing their book their new books and all of those things, I was stalled and simply maintaining what I had, and it did not feel good to me. But as time went on, and I was forced to slow down even more because of struggles with treatment and things like that. And I really literally had no choice but to slow down, despite how much I fought it, and I fought it a lot. I finally start to settle into a slower life pace. And I finally started to allow myself the time to just slow down and focus on my key priorities: health, taking care of my paying clients. And when I did that, when I finally let go of control and I finally opened up to what the world had in store for me, I had some pretty amazing discoveries that came to me and some pretty big aha moments. First off, I realized that I did not need tens of thousands of followers to attract the clients that I want. I will be honest, I chuckle when somebody sends me one of those, generic emails. We can bring in 100 new leads to your business in a month. There's no way I could support 100 new clients a month. No way. That's terrifying. So I realized that that was like a dream that wasn't necessary to have. It was a goal that shouldn't even be on my list. I also realized that I wasn't passionate about writing the book that I was developing, and the line of productivity planners was not worth the time that I wanted for that I was going to put into it. It wasn't something I wanted to do. I also discovered that the course that I was creating honestly wasn't the right fit for my audience, and it was just going to attract people that were not my dream clients. So, what was the point of doing that? The other more incredible aha moment and more surprising discovery that I had was that I was already living the life that I had dreamed about. And I didn't even know it. I did not realize I was living my dream. I had a fulfilling creative job, amazing clients, and the freedom to work from anywhere that I had internet access. I mean, literally anywhere that I had internet access, I could work. I took my business on the road when I needed to, and I worked from my beautiful home office when I wanted to. And because I had been forced to slow down so that I could focus on healing my body, I all of a sudden had time to enjoy with my family and friends. I just had to step back and allow it to happen. I didn't have to make anything or check any boxes or anything like that. I just had to allow it happen. And this is when I began to realize what my real definition of success was. For me, success isn't about checking off every goal on a list. It's not about accomplishing things to brag about on social media or things that I feel I should or that I feel obligated to do. Success for me is about the joy I feel when I see my clients' confidence soar with their brand new brand or website. It's living a life that's simpler and quieter than the one I had once envisioned. It's loving the home that I have created with my hubby, a home that I don't need an escape from. And it's all about feeling at peace in my own skin and appreciating the life that I've created, not just those material achievements. And here is the real truth behind it all. I had all of those things before my diagnosis, but I had forgotten the most important step when it comes to being successful. I had forgotten to claim that success that I had already achieved. If we don't stop to recognize everything that we've built, how do we ever know that we're already successful? That was the lesson that I learned way back in 2019, and I didn't realize it, but today I do. And believe it or not, my life, my business, my finances have expanded in the most amazing ways since realizing that. And I am now living beyond the dream that I had for myself in 2019. So now I want to take a moment to dive a little bit deeper into the idea of redefining success and hopefully give you some ideas and tips to help you do that as well. I don't want you to be stuck like I was and to continue letting external pressures and societal expectations or even your own self imposed standards shape the definition of success. I want you to know that you're a success right now and to align that with what you're living and enjoy the life that you have. So think about the goals that you're currently pursuing. Are they truly aligned with what you want, or are they influenced by what you think you should be doing? If no one else was watching you, how would you live your life and define your success? What goals would you actually be setting for yourself? I invite you to take a moment to reflect on these questions that I'm going to share in just a moment. Because at the end of the day, success isn't about what you achieve, it's about how you feel when you achieve it. And don't worry, I'm going to have the questions written down in my detailed show notes so that you can look at those later on, okay? So let's dive into those questions. Okay, question number one. What is your current definition of success? I encourage you to take some quiet time away from the noise of the world around you and to journal or meditate or just think about what success really means to you. How has it evolved from, when you first started your business or you first went out on this journey that you're on now? And where is there room for change? Because maybe it's time to redefine what your success really is to be more in alignment with what you truly want. Question number two. Do you have any misaligned goals? If you look at the goals that you are currently chasing, are there any that are not aligned with your true desires or any that are in place because of external pressures, because of things that you feel you should do or some category checklist that somebody told you you had to have in your life. Okay. Number 3, what boundaries do you have in place? How are you protecting your time, your energy, and your well being? Success does not require burnout, it needs balance, not burnout. And I cannot stress that enough. All right, number 4, how are you celebrating your achievements? Don't wait for some future milestone to feel successful. Recognize and celebrate what you've already accomplished because celebration feeds that success that you have. And number 5, are you claiming your success? Remember, success is only real when we claim it. So take stock in all that you've built and give yourself the credit that you deserve. All right, my friend, as we wrap up today, I encourage you to take these reflections and questions with you. Again, they're going to be in my show notes and in the detailed notes on the website. And just remember that success is personal and it's something only you can define for yourself. So pause, take stock of all that you've already created, and ask yourself, are you already living the successful life that you've been striving for? Thank you so much for joining me today on the Solo Grind. I hope that this episode has sparked some thoughts and inspired you to reflect, maybe even encourage you to redefine what success means to you. And as you move on about your day, please, my friend, don't forget to pause, reflect, and claim the success that you have already achieved. Thanks for tuning in to the Solo Grind. I hope this episode brought you some inspiration and encouragement. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, rate, and review the podcast, and feel free to share. For more tips and insights, visit caffeinecreative.io to check out my blog or explore the Creative Vault, my free course library. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram. I'd love to hear how this episode has helped you.